Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvātītam Gaganasadarsyam Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibodham Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namah. So, we are going to take this very seriously. So I got the text. Have your own mind. We have days. We have today, we have tomorrow, we have day after. So we go slowly. Of course, we'll get Kriya, don't worry. But let's make a background for a base for why we need to do Kriya and so on. So, as I promised you yesterday, bear with me. I might do a little bit of Sanskrit and then translate and so on. Okay? So, as I promised you yesterday, we are going to do one of the major Upanishads today, the principal Upanishads. One of them, which is the Mundaka Upanishad, which comes from the Athrvana Veda. There are 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Athrvana Veda. This Upanishad comes from the last, which is the Athrvana Veda. Atharva Veda, whatever you want to say. So basically it's an invitation to go deeply into the understanding of the core of consciousness, which is common to you and to the world. So this is the invitation in this. So before I start, let me say that the Upanishad is that portion of the teachings, old teachings, which are attached to the last portion of the Vedas. They have Vyasa codified the Vedas and compiled them into 4 parts, and Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, you don't have to buy heart. Atharva Veda, 4. And the first portion is called the Samhitas. They're like hymns. But the hymns have something hidden in them. And the last portion, of course, in between there is the Brahmanas, then there is the Aranyas, and then comes the Upanishad. And the Upanishads are that part of the Vedas which are attached at the end of each Veda. And they are the ones who explain the hidden meanings of words which are inside the Samhita portion. So this is the Upanishad. So it is the essence of the wisdom of the Vedas, let's put it this way. And still it's attached to the end of the Vedas, of the Samhitas. Therefore it's called Vedanta. That's the meaning of the word Vedanta, which means Anta in Sanskrit is end. And Vedanta. So Vedanta, that which is at the last portion of the Vedas. Well, it could also mean it's that which when studied, there is nothing more to study. Anta, end. Not in the sense of stopping understanding, but in the sense of stopping ordinary understanding. So the other expands. So that's also Upanishad. Now quickly, though I have repeated this many times, there are new people. Upanishad has 3 syllables. Upa means to sit close, as we are sitting now. I wish I could sit there, but then you can't see me. The last line would have to look like this. So, whereas Upanishads were those things which were taught in the forest hermitages. This looks like a forest hermitage, lovely. By the rishis who sat close together with their students and intimately discussed these matters. So it's Upa, means close together, near, N-E-A-R, near. It also means that part of the ancient teachings that takes you nearer to the Supreme Truth. So one would say, why didn't they say it takes you to the truth? The only thing you can do is to go as near as possible to the ultimate. Because when you have touched it, then you are not there anymore. There's only that. So, literally you can only say, go near. Somebody said, it's like the salt doll, a doll made of salt, going to the ocean to measure its depth. Then where is the salt doll? There is no salt. There is only the ocean. So therefore we can only go as close as possible. So that's also another meaning of the word upa, close, near. Then shad. Shad literally means sit down. Now we are all in the shad position to understand Upanishad. It means to sit. It also means not only to physically sit, but the mind to sit. Mind also has to sit down, otherwise you might be here, but so sitting down, settling down to mind. Adi Shankara, who has commented on many of the Upanishads, has found another meaning also for it. From, Sanskrit is a word. If you go into the Sanskrit dictionary, for one word there are several meanings. So he said one of the meanings that apply here is shad also means to shake up. Nothing to do with the shakes, to shake up, which means, to shake up our idea of ourselves and the world. We have some established ideas about ourselves and of the outside world. So it's a shaking up of so-called linear logic. You know what linear logic? Something is there and I need to go there, travel there to find it. The Upanishad says when something is everywhere, how do you go there? If you're there and I need to see you, I need to come. But what if you're also here? What do I do? So, this is the Upanishad is all about that. So, it also means to shake up the ways in which we think. The Gita talks about a tree which has its roots above and branches below. Urdhva It means to put everything on his head. It means suddenly you look and you find that you have been going in the reverse direction, can be traced back to the source. The normal way of achieving something is to move out and hold, grasp. Here, to let go all grasping and go back to the center. This is Upanishad. So you see how important it is for us to look at it. So, I'm going to take up this. Don't laugh. Sometimes yogis also need glasses. There are many Upanishads. So I need to, So this Mundaka Upanishad, the problem is tonight, look here, I can't see you. So don't be distracted by my wearing, taking out and so on, I'm sorry. Because when I one pointedly give attention here to the glasses, I can't see you, then I have to. So this comes from the Athrvana Veda, as you said, and here is the first section of the Mundaka. I explained to you yesterday that Mundaka means to clean shave your head, which means to take off all that is grown here and be free. And so therefore some people think it's meant for renunciants, sannyasins, but it's not really. One doesn't become a renunciant by shaving one's head. It's a trend now, lots of young people have shaven heads, so what do we do? Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to read this, and it's very simple, but I would like to read, at least for some time, If we find that we're short of time, then we'll speed up and not take the Sanskrit. But it's nice to begin with. And then I will translate it first and then comment on it in the traditional way. So here we go. Brahma Devanam Pratamaha Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gupta Sab Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshta Putraya Praha. Now this is a statement made by the Upanishad that Brahma, the creator, rose as the first among gods. Not one, but many gods. Of the many things that happen in nature, some intelligence is in charge of it. And Brahma, the creator, was the first one among these intelligences who is the designer of the universe as it proceeds and the protector of the world. So it's not the Brahman which is the supreme. So the next sentence shows it's not talking about the supreme, all-pervading essence, but about something little lesser than that, lower than that. Brahma, the creator, is not the ultimate. You see this difference? So out of that, among the gods that create, that destroy, when I say God here, it means the powers of nature, deified. Brahma, the creator, rose first. And then what did he do? He taught the knowledge of the Brahman, because he should know, he rose first. So he must be knowing the real knowledge of the Brahman. So please watch the distinction between the word Brahma and the word Brahman. So Brahma, the first, who knew the knowledge of the Brahman, which is the supreme, he taught his knowledge of the Brahman, which is the foundation of all knowledge. Sarva Vidya Pratishtham, which is the base or the foundation of all knowledge that exists, this world and next. He taught it to Athrvana, his eldest son. He's simply saying that this is being passed on from Brahma to someone called Athrvana. And that knowledge of the Brahman, which Brahma taught to Athrvana, which we are going to discuss now. Tall order, right? Brahma taught to Athrvana, and we humble beings are going to discuss it. So that knowledge of the Brahman, which Brahma taught to Athrvana, and Athrvana in olden times taught to Angirasa. Don't worry about it, these are some names. Genealogy, Angirasa. He in turn taught it to Satyavaha, son of Bharadvaja. And the son of Bharadvaja taught it to Angirasas. What kind of knowledge? Knowledge, the higher and the lower knowledge. Both. This is the lineage. Not so important. And then the next third one, third sloka. Saunako havai mahashalo angirasam vidhivat upasanaha paprachaha kasminno bhagavo vijñāte sarvam idam vijñātam bhavati. Saunaka was not a renunciant, was not a monk, was like you and me, a householder. Describe Saunaka, the householder. You know what? I think in the West people don't understand. How householder, do you hold the house? I mean, it means somebody who has a family, imagine. You know. So Saunaka, the householder, the great householder, not ordinary, duly approached Angirasa, the great sage, who has derived it in the lineage we discussed, with great respect, and asked him this question. What is that question? Kasmin no bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam jnatam bhavati iti. He asked him, what is it through being known, O sir, venerable sir, does all this become known? He said, is there some, we heard so, but is it true? Can you tell me, is there that which when you know everything here? Which also, we need to look at it a little bit. That doesn't mean one has become omniscient, because the human brain is so conditioned, and the mind, which is kind of product of it, is so conditioned, it cannot be omniscient, omnipotent, or omnipresent. So, it's only when it has subsided and something else takes over, then there is omniscience, omnipresence, and so on. But it doesn't matter. We like to be omniscient because we like to know everything. When you know something, nothing more remains to be known, then it makes no sense. Which means that which when known is so full, complete and satisfying that there is nothing more remains to be known. Not that when you know it, people go to a great sage and ask him about population control or physics and expect him to know. No. This is not what is meant here. What meant is, when that is known, one has known what is to be really known, and therefore nothing more remains to be known. Of course, when the mind becomes calm, it grows and becomes better than the ordinary mind, no question. But still it has its limitations. When it has completely subsided, then the other is. When the other is, you cannot say, I have it, it's it. That, not me. So, he said, can you tell me, Shaunaka, the great householder, approached Angirasa and asked, Venerable sir, through what being known does all this become known? Is there something which I know, and I know everything about everything? There's nothing that remains to be known because everything is over. Aim of my life is over, satisfied.